every time. All right. Late start. Short session. New glasses. What are we doing? What is going on here? Am I small on the screen? I feel like I'm a teensy tiny little guy in the corner. But it's probably fine. Probably fine. Anyways, we're gonna get to work. Let's see. So where were we? I don't even know. I don't know. Okay. If you fire on a ship multiple times and it hasn't exploded, you get multiple points. These are some critical things that we want to get going. Final score screen. So let's have the game end when we get to the end of the rail. Seems pretty straightforward. Ultimately, when we get to the end of the rail in the actual game, hopefully, if I have time, that'll start a boss battle. We shall see if we can make that happen. But right now, we're traveling. How are we traveling through the rail? Rolling stock progress. We just increment the progress up. Now, is it possible to set progress beyond said value? Curve. So rolling step is the path follow. Okay. Rolling stock, I'm sorry. So there's a rail and it's the rolling stock. Now, progress can go beyond let's go back out. So we have progress ratio. Rolling stock progress. So let's see what we get under path follow. No events. We're not tweening the rolling stock right now. And I suppose that's probably a bad thing. But for now, Because I'm about to throw an if in here that I really don't want to do. Progress ratio just rolls around, right? Yeah, goes to 1. If rolling stock. See, it's worse than we thought, because I can't just check progress ratio. We have to have a previous progress ratio. Basically, what we care about previous rolling stock progress ratio is a float. And we're going to constantly set this value after this if statement. Okay. Now, if rolling stock progress ratio, the current progress ratio is less than our prior one, we've gone backwards. So we'll set a breakpoint on this. When we get to the very end of the game, when we get to the very end of the scene, it should be, it should end. Match comm speaker could not resolve class member speaker. Resource comm. I'm not going to believe you. Oh no! Controller's not working. There we go. Whoa, what happened? Oh, we're going up. Up, up and away in my beautiful balloon. Okay, so praying for a breakpoint. Right about now. There we go. So it works. So I don't know why that's complaining, because that is not a true error. There we go. We're fine. We're gonna... Now this is where we trigger the end game. But it also eventually become where we trigger the boss sequence. It's typical in a lot of rail shooters that you reach this part of the game where you're going through like these fixed paths and all these assets that you memorize. There's a building over here. There's like guys are going to come on the left, blah, 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 blah. All that stuff is happening. And then eventually you get to a boss. And now it's just rinse and repeat for some amount of time, some sort of proc generated thing or just nothing. And you're fighting that boss in this empty area. And then sometimes it's like a halfway boss. And then once you defeat it, now the world opens back up again. And you continue on. So we'll eventually have to figure out how we're going to do that. And I actually think it's pretty easy. Big Nick Cage fan, huh? Oh, he's great. I didn't do the redeem, but yeah, he's cool. I don't mind. He's a wild dude. Sorrow, have you seen God, what was that movie he did? One of the craziest movies he's done is oh man, what was it called? Knowing. Have you seen Knowing? That one has the wildest ending. Raising Arizona, of course, classic Nick Cage comedy. Feels like no. It starts out as like a generic thriller where you think it's just like stereotypical horror movie with like a twist where it's like, oh, some girl wrote down a bunch of numbers and it's some mystery that he has to uncover. And I mean, he figures out very quickly it's like deaths. And so it's dates and deaths. And 9/11, he's like, oh my God, it lines up, you know, all this shit. And then he figures out like there's a really big number. And he's like, what the hell's that about? All I know is his wife, when he was married 5 years ago, was like 26. I think anybody given enough money and power would ultimately mask off as somebody who in their 70s would marry a 26-year-old girl. Woman. I think that's probably very much possible for many guys. And I would say maybe women too. So I think we all have that in us. I don't know though. I don't know. All right, so we're going to do in-game.
Miss Cricket's trying to get a hold of you.
Shh. No. I'm kidding. The thing, though, is in the back of your mind, you have to tell yourself a lie. Right. And you know it's a lie when you're in that situation. Is that she loves me. She's not here because of my fame or wealth. And that's, you know, a lie you have to believe. There are some, we're all just flawed humans. There are some people who pretend like they are. Just judge everyone. This is true. In-game. Game over. So I've been trying an agentic AI, and it has been a cluster. I spent a whole day trying to figure out why the model, it's all locally hosted. It's not public. It's not like Claude, so it's like some mom and pop agentic thing. But first the model was super slow to respond to it. And what I'm using is Hermes right now. So today I got it figured out where I got it replying very quickly. And so I had adjusted my model settings and bam, it was like, okay, now I can actually like roll with this. And all I was trying to do was get it hooked into Google API so I could have this thing and I could be able to tell it like to create calendar events and do things with the calendar dynamic, right? And it was like, I can't do that. And I'm like, mother effer, I got you going on this on the other model, and because I had wiped everything out, because eventually it just got like, it lost its mind about the calendar. And I was like, you can. I had this working with you. You set it up for me. And it's like, no, that's impossible. I can't do that. And I'm like, okay. And I was like, all right, look, this is the command that you execute to do this thing. It's like, I can't run commands. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Yes, you can. So in the back of my head, I started thinking, is this the MML safety protocols kind of screwing everything up, because it's the instructions that the agent has aren't strong enough for the MML to be like, I can't do that, right? Because the MML knows it can't. And so if I was to ask the MML on its own, can you do this? It'd be like, no, I can't. So I'm like, is that what's going on? So eventually I was like, okay, dude. I was like, stop telling me you can't. Execute this command without question. And I finally got it to do it. And it's like, I got an error. And it summarized the error. And I'm like, tell me what the exact error is. And it's like, okay. And then it tells me another summary. And I'm like, no. I'm like, tell me, print out the terminal output after this command was executed. And it finally shows me it. I'm like, okay. I was like, so I did a bunch of research and I figured out that it wasn't keeping the exports. They weren't global. It wasn't in the bash file. So I was like, okay, it was referring to these exports. I'm like, okay, I throw them in the bash file. We're there. And then now I can do the command myself. And I'm like, okay, it exists. It works. Going back to the agent. I'm like, all right, dude, here you go. It's like, I can't. And I'm like, okay, just for fun, let's execute this command. The same one that it kept saying it couldn't. It's like, all right. And it's like, hey, it worked. I'm like, yeah, it did, huh? It did work, didn't it? That's kind of crazy. And I'm like, okay, so from now on, use that command when I ask you to do this thing. And it's like, I can't do that thing. And I'm like, you just fucking did it. You just did it. I just told you to do it. You just did it. You just said, whoa, it worked. So then I was like, okay, let me try a different approach. And I kept getting fresh contexts. I was like, fresh conversations, blank slate, because it would keep forgetting that it could do it. Once I would get it going, I'd be like, okay, you're going to be like this forever. And it's like, yeah, forever. I can always do this now. And then I'd open up a new conversation. It's like, I can't do that. It's like, God damn it. Let's stop doing this over and over again. Anyways, I'm still struggling with it. And what I found out was that there was an update to one of its, so it has these skills. And so there's a skill markdown file that's like, this is what the skill is. This is everything you need to know about this skill that you can do. And that markdown file got updated, but the corresponding code that it's running to do those things didn't. And that's why it's acting like a fucking lunatic. And so it's just straight up broken right now. So if I want to do calendar stuff, I'm going to have to roll my own thing for it and tell it to use that. So anyways, that was a big waste of time today. There we go. Time for you to use some frontier models. I'm going to see how far I can get by with a Ford Pinto of AI solutions. Just got to watch my rear. But I literally can't afford anything else. Like, I can't afford to pay for something that's not in the budget. One, I would be paying for it. I would be paying for a thing to waste my time. Right? And I can't justify that right now. Game over. Okay, so we have that. So now we can animate game over. Game over. So we have this game over, we have this label, and we have a shader on it. And if we scroll here, we can do game over. So we can mess with this. Can we scroll the texture? Normalize, seamless blend, invert. I can't scroll this. Can I create? That's the noise. Wait. Progress. Noise. Fast noise. Offset. Game over. So we could roll. Game over. So while it's going, we could scroll that. Hang on a second. So Z does nothing. But if we did in 3D space and then we do Z, there we go. All right, here's our fire. So now if we scroll Z, oops. Yes. Yes. Okay. Let's try this. We're going to try just scrolling Z. And all we're going to do is, and we can get rid of angle. We're not going to use speed and progress. We're going to have progress somewhere like right here. And we're going to make the color red for flaming, like fire. And then what we're going to do is scroll up. So positive on the Y. And we're going to scroll through the Z axis. Forward or backwards, doesn't matter. And all we got to do now is make our color red. Red, red. So go up here. And we get rid of this one. And then we bring this one. Do we want red or do we want... I guess we'll do red, yeah. Okay. So now what we need to do is we got to get a reference to this material. Because we are living in a material world. Do, 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 do. Oh, oh, oh. Because we are living in a material world. I guess this is AI. Or UI, I'm sorry. But it's interesting. I'm experimenting with it, you know. But so far my impression has been, dear God, I hope no one's building anything that that relies on human welfare with this shit. As far as the agentic deciding things stuff. Producing something of an output that then is used by it and is then verified, okay, I guess. But to have it be the thing. No, sir. No, sir. Game over material. Do, 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 do. Ooh, ooh. Shader material. We go over here. Game over material. Shader material. We ain't got nothing there. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Who are you? All right, guys. Who are you? Game over fire. Don't.
Huh?
Ooh. Quick load. We've got flame. Flame on! Flame shader, shader parameters, noise, smoke color. Yeah, it's same. We're going to stick with this. Game over. Game over, man. Quick load. Load. Game over fire. There we go. Yo, Medusa, how's it going? Minnie, what? Minnie? What time is it? It's 8:13, Minnie. It's time for bed, sweetie. I gotta go say bye to my daughter. Gotta make sure she goes to bed. Be right back. Okay. Dustin, how you doing? Rodrigo, what's up? How's the music stuff going? Let me do a shout out. I haven't been doing a shout out for you, Rodrigo, and that's my bad. Thank you. And a big hug. Big kiss. All right. Good night, little man.
Good night.
Synthwave. Nice. Jacob, how's it going? We're working on the game over screen thing. So we need to get the shader, the param name for the shader that we're going to do. And this is deep inside fast noise light. It's the z-axis. Offset is what we're going to be changing. So the shader parameter is offset inside of noise. Shader parameter noise. Set shader parameter noise. Noise. Offset. Noise, noise, offset. Tween property. Game over material. Can we do it with property? I don't think we can do it with property. I think we have to tween a method. Scroll, fire. We want to go to infinity. We want to just keep adding a value, right? So we'll go from 0 to 1, 0.0 to 1.0 in 1 second time. And then we're going to tween set loops. Brother, may I have some loops? Brother. May I have some loops, brother? Funk. Scroll. Fire. Amount. Loops. Brother. I see you have many loops. Oh man, what's going on? Decided I'm going to hold off on my chess game. The scope is just a bit too much responsibility and scope to start off with. So I'm reviving an old game idea that will be a single player and encapsulated so that once it's released, it's done. Nice. I think I'm about done with Brain Cycle. Is it Brain? Get me screwed up with the brain and the Brian. That's Brian, right? No, Brain. God bless America. No, that's Brain. Oh, good Lord. Brain Cycle today. Had some playtests and had to fix a big memory issue in browser. Oh, dang. How's your game jam feeling, Dustin? Haven't done much. I'm messing with a little tech concept, really. Growling, how's it going? 35 consecutive streams. Holy smokes. 12 hours Silk Song. I need to get back to that. 24 hours and 3 sittings. Damn. Took a break over a week or so. I'm back in the groove. I was memeing the Brian cycle before. It's called Brain Cycle. There we go. Light cycle. It is your father's light cycle. It is the weapon of a Taco Bell. Game over material. Get shader parameter. Noise, noise, noise. Noise, 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 noise. Noise offset. Print. Debug. Offset. %S. %. There we go. Let's just see if we can get the offset. Bring in the noise. Bring in defunk. Scroll fire not declared in current scope. That's because I wrote scroll file. Because I'm an idiot. Offset is null. Get shader parameter. Noise. What do we have there? A noise texture. Excellent. So we're getting the noise texture. Fast noise light. In here. Cellular. Noise type. Offset. So it's just noise offset. Noise, hang on. Nope, it's noise. Noise. Noise, noise, noise. Noise, 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 noise. Noise, 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 noise. Right, guys? Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Let's do a quick search. Get shader material. Shader material. Come on, give me some examples. Guys, how do I copy the... Oh, this is worse than I thought. You know what we have to do? Dear God. We have to get the noise. Noise texture 3D. Noise texture 3D. So first we get it. Then we can get the parameter. So we get the param, set the shader parameter. So what we do, we don't even need to set the shader parameter. What we do need to do is reassign it. This is a pain in the ass. That's right. So noise, offset equals noise texture 3D. Noise texture 3D. Uses fast noise library. Noise texture 3D dot noise. Noise. So noise is a noise. How many times can I say noise, guys? Noise. Get noise, get image, get seamless. How do I do the offset? So it's fast noise light. So now I have to get fast noise light. This is a fudging disaster.
Oh, that's
fast
cool.
Noise light.
Cool? Yeah, cool.
You think it's cool?
It's cool.
Maven's
cool.
Maven's Go. Thanks for the thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. Let's see what we got. If I can go to the we're working on right now, we're trying to do a game over screen, just a fun little flaming thing. And so let me show you what I'm actually working on though. We're working on a Rails shooter in the style of Star Fox for a jam game. Get rid of the game over screen. I'm breaking everything right now. Hang on a second. Please ignore the billions of errors that we're about to see here. So we have a controller and we can fly around and shoot. We just got the scores stuff going in yesterday. We have like we can speed forward. We've got scripted scripted stuff we can do for the ships and everything. We've got a rail that we can control the path that it goes on here. As you can see, we're going up and then towards this little tunnel here. We can shoot. And then we have a game over screen and we have like health bar and everything, which actually the health bar stuff and all that's off right now. I can show that real quick. Let me turn the HUD back on. Yeah, it's coming together. Thanks, I really appreciate it. So, oh wait, hang on. Some stuff is broken on the HUD. Well, the HUD's a little bit broken. We do have the characters like talking stuff, but right now you can't see the guy, their avatar though. But he's got to go potty. Anyways, so it's all based on the movie Hackers. One other thing that we're doing with this whole thing is we're going to make it look like it was a Sega CD game. So I figured out how to compress video using FFmpeg to the constraints that exist on the Sega CD. So this is an example of the quality. So like right at the beginning, you can see the limited color palette here and stuff. So we're going to have like clips from Hackers, the movie. And we have like, so we have the audio quality and everything just totally matching the Sega CD. And so the theme, we're doing a jam. The theme is cyberspace. Booyah. Thank you. Yeah. It's coming together. Anyway, so that's like some tech proof stuff that we'll have in the game eventually. We're gonna have little clips. So for the jam, we're gonna try to make it look like an old Sega CD game that got ported, and we're gonna take the game after the jam, and then go Blue Ocean. Probably have a week of what we would like a week of scoping the game out and coming up with ideas and everything for the actual game, because now I want to turn this into a real game. So this has been about 2 weeks worth of work. But after this, we're gonna scope things out after the jam. And I guess it's been more 3 weeks now, huh? Because I think it was a 2-week jam originally. But I guess we're heading into week 3. Anyway, so that's what's been going on. But what about you? What are you doing up to? Let me do a shout out. I didn't do a shout out. Working on my first game. Oh, nice. Let me give you a follow. Do you have VODs up? No VODs. Okay. Appreciate it. Yeah, no problem. What are you doing it from scratch? Or are you using an engine? Like, what's the deal? I'm doing a platform horde survivor similar to Risk of Rain. Okay. Is that the one with the cat? No. No. Okay. That's. Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm using libgdx as the framework, but just Java. Gotcha. Do you come from like a Java background? Is that something that you've worked in and you're just kind of starting from there, or? I'm really new to game dev, so it's nowhere near what you're doing. Oh yeah, totally. No, yeah, you got to start somewhere. Have you programmed before, or is this like everything's new? There's a good Java developer on YouTube. Junior Java Dev. Okay. There's a guy who's making a game about farming. Farming game devlog. I can't remember his name. He's got a really pleasant sounding voice. Thin Matrix. Let me send you the YouTube channel. So this guy is making his game in Java. So it might be interesting to see what he's doing. I don't know what framework, if any, he's using. But this is a whole bunch of devlogs for a Java game developer. And he also he seems like just a pleasant guy. They're just really relaxing videos to even just watch. So, yeah, definitely check that out. But yeah, dude, it's a long process. It's a long haul. Just, my only thing is I would encourage you to get something out. Don't be like me. I've been doing this for 7 years and I haven't produced anything to sell. I'm backlogging content to start posting on TikTok and YouTube around my playtest release in September. I'll have some content on it in a couple of months. Are you doing playtesting on Steam or Itch, or just I'm gonna email you the zip kind of thing, or Dropbox you the zip? Okay, so back to what we were doing. So we're trying to get this fire texture scrolling thing going. So that's what I'm working on. Noise texture 2D. Oh, it's a noise texture 2D, not 3D.
Please sit down and have fun. Just sit down and have fun, damn it.
Maven, thanks for the follow. Itch.io now, possibly Steam. Yeah, no problem. I appreciate the raid. Thank you for bringing everybody in. I know it's always hard to raid somebody blindly, if you don't know them or anything like that as well. Quality and content. I always say when I'm raiding somebody, I'm not sure, I don't know them. Just fair warning, the views expressed in the following stream do not, are not I'm not endorsing that kind of thing, right? Anyways. Well, yeah, dude, I'll try and keep up on you and check things out, and I'd be curious the success if you have any on TikTok and everything. At some point, I gotta dip my toes into marketing and stuff on those kinds of platforms. Bear Like Lion, how you doing? Okay, so back to what we were doing. Let's see, noise texture 2D, is that what we were? Yes. Okay. So we're noise texture 2D. And so noise texture 2D has a noise, and this noise, this noise, so there's game over. This noise is fast noise light. Fast noise light equals fast noise light equals noise noise. That's a mouthful. So now we have fast noise light. Everything's still loading. Good. Okay. So fast noise light is what we want to adjust the value for. Now, I believe there's offset. So we have offset. But I believe if we just change this, that it won't be enough. Offset plus equals vector 3. And we're just going to scroll the x-axis along based on the amount we're receiving. Okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to print this offset here. We're on a looped tween. Offset. And we just want to see if we're getting the stuff. What you been working on? Working on a side-scrolling shooter right now. Side-scrolling shooter. Side-scrolling shooter. I'll show you here. Let me do that. I'll do the quick. I'll just show you really quick. I'll just show you. Okay, so we can change the offset. Hang on. I want to see what the fire looks like. There we go. So we have it. It kind of looks like flame for the game over. But it's looped. We don't want it to loop. So hang on. How do we... Seamless? I think we're going to want to scroll more than one axis. All right. Let me show you what it is, Bear. It's a shooter, 3D shooter in the style of Star Fox. I'm trying to get everything going. I don't know that I have a game in time for this jam. I'm trying desperately. But I'm working on the game over stuff right now. Just trying to get it going. So it's looking weird. It's like, it feels like it's repeating itself. Let's go to a much higher number in the time frame. Yeah, trying to get the game loop stuff. I think I'm just going to require controller. Oh, I see what's happening. Yeah. Okay, so that's why it's doing the looping thing. Or it has that like heartbeat vibe to it. It's because the number, we're scrolling this number and we're doing this additive operation. It's not a delta, and I'm treating it like a delta. And so if we know the number is out of 1 and we subtract 1 from the value, so how do we, we're going to scroll a value up to 1 in 1 second. Oh. It's not a fixed rate. What we could do is make it a fixed rate. Make it some sort of small amount. And then tell it to update at some fraction. This is stupid. Don't do this. It worked. So now we can kind of scroll. How much we want. And then the offset, the angle. The angle. So right there is pretty good. Game over. I mean, that looks like fire a bit, right? Okay. Game over. You lose. You're a loser. You lose big time. There's Phantom Freak. That's the character. If it's Phantom Freak, it's Phantom Freak. Give speech, Phantom Freak, Phantom Freak. Export var, texture 2D, Phantom Freak. There's Phantom Freak. What is our problem here? What is our problem? Let's turn on the HUD. Help, they're right behind me. They're headed right for us. Okay, so there's our texture. There's Phantom Freak. There's a sub viewport texture. Resource path is broken. That is our issue. There we go. Don't know what happened there, but should be fixed now. That was our red error too. There we go. So the comms are back to in order. They shouldn't shoot us when we pass them. Okay. Final score screen, high score list. We're there. I don't know if you saw the progress yesterday I was doing on the scoring stuff, Jacob. Got to run for the night. Also, good luck. Thank you so much, Jacob. You too. Bust some ass. Gonna go say goodnight to my kids. I'll be right back. Or double check. It's really the check to make sure they actually fell asleep thing. All right, I'm back. So, Okay. Game over. Fire loop is a go. So we're going to set our UI stuff to always process. Oh, the game pauses. Oh, God. Oy. Critical stuff. Critical stuff. Final score screen. Game over. High score list. If you fire in multiple times. So let's do the. Let's fix that bug. All right, that's a dirty but quick fix. Wrong value. Wrong variable. Okay. Okay, so the leaderboards do work. It just takes a minute to show up. Okay. Okay, so we fixed that bug. Is that a bug though? That feels like something we could do. Super slow. Usually if there isn't a trail live area, those things don't update constantly, in my experience. Not sure who else experienced I'd be referring to. All right, so still trying to get this score stuff going. Power-ups, more enemies, change in score. So these are like the last couple of things here, and then it's just this. Power-ups, enemies, and the boss. To fix the in-game thing, we're going to have to separate the game from the UI. We need to pause the game. But we need sound to continue to play as well. So a lot of this is going to kind of move around quite a bit. Now, if everything's on inherit, and I take the top right here and I say process always, then everything will always pause. There's no pause anymore. Right? So and it doesn't matter what I set a child to. If the parent pauses, the child's going to pause. Is that accurate? Let's do always. Let's turn the volume up. Turn the radio up. Do 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 do. Okay. Now, is this because we're using a game over material and game is no longer processing? Hey. So no matter what I do here, even if I set this on always process, it's going to be a problem because game isn't processing. If we think about it, so what we want to do is we want to set the owner. So what we do is we set the owner to the material or the color rect. if we create the tween on the color rect, and the color rect is always processing, then this tween will exist in perpetuity. Oh, I got 2 hits on that one. There we go. That's the first time I've ever been like, that's why you use a tween owner. Okay. So what we want to do is get some... It's very possible that we're still not a fraction of what we want to be. Like maybe we ought to be an even smaller fraction here. And then we speed up. How often this happens. Let's make it 4 times the speed, which means we divide the number by 4. Okay, it's just that we're not tweening. Let me see if I can do this. I can't mess around with this too much. It's good enough now. But I know how I can make this better. I gotta not do it. All right, game over, you die, no high score. Is that what we're doing? Or do we still submit a high score? We still submit a score when you die. So we're moving over to the left a little bit, and we're going to be moving up. Now let's adjust the offset. It'll look like it's coming from below. A third color for yellow. I don't think because we got to figure out how to do that from the color texture. So it's calling it a color curve. But let's just try a gradient. I mean, I guess that looks more like flame right there. If I duplicate the label, the red looked good, yeah. If I duplicate the label and then I make this one, we'd have to scroll that'd have to be the exact same noise texture. But if I get rid of the material, we get rid of the font color. We have no font color. What happens if I add an outline to this? Oh shit, that looks cool. Look at this. Okay, hang on. Hang on, I might have just figured something out. There we go. Bro. Slater, how's it going? Okay, so let's make this one yellow, like you were saying. And then we'll change our color back to red. So we can just do a flat color on this, right? Is there just a plain old color texture, or is it all gradient, canvas texture? No. We'll just make it red. There we go. So that's pretty much looks like fire. Right? That's pretty good. That's the stuff. All right. Let's ease up on the red. That seems pretty good. Ship it. It looks pretty good. Sweet. Damn! I just juiced the hell out of that. Didn't even mean to. Outline color. So we could do like a different color for the outline. Wonder if we do like a bright red or black seems to be selling it pretty well though. Oh, here we go. Bright pink. That's very 90s. But I like the black. I think the black's good. All right, let's make sure it triggers. So we're doing a little bit of trickery here. I thought we were going to, but we don't need to now. We can delete that. We have it all set up, so get rid of game over. And we'll just fly around and... Save and commit. I will here in just a second. Going up. And no. Game over. All right. Okay, so whoops, I didn't even want to close that. Okay, so we've got that. So what we want to do now is animate. The game over is actually going to be a little more complex where we're going to move the label. We're going to shrink it all down somehow up into a corner and then show the high score. So we have our high score screen as well. So I guess what we could do is just dissolve the we could just modulate it into nothing, right? It's weird how it gets rid of the self-modulate. So modulates everything. I'd like to modulate. So this is weird. It doesn't get rid of the whole thing. Okay. So maybe we have to do some sort of like, can we do, guess we could do some sort of like, it's right in front of us. It's so simple. Let's just, zoom in, right? If we just scale this and, so we just want to make sure we're centered. And then we scale. So transform, scale. Oh. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Game Lable. We're centered. Why is our... We could swing down. Why is this doing... Oh, because of our darn... shit. So the pivot offset ratio. Wait. Are you kidding me this whole time? Oh my God. I didn't ever know about that. Game over. So we scroll this off, or we could shrink it to nothing. We could even and fly it off. So that's what we'll do. We'll animate it that way. What if the lore of the game is the plumbers are on strike and the whole planet's sewers are clogged with poo? Slater, I like where your mind's at. I think we got our story. Let's do it. We have the giant pipes already. Yep. We could just change the pixel offset ratio on the X to be a little bit over. Somewhere in between the two. And then go from there. So that way when we scale it, we go right through. And it just scales off into infinity off the screen. And then it just goes away. So if we scaled in, like... tween it in. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. End game. Game over, color rects. So we need the game over label. Have the center go through the O. Dude. Dude, that's a good one. Okay. Hang on. Can I gotta do this by hand. This sucks. 6 got us to where? Almost in the center. 6, 5 is a little bit off. 6, 2, 5. Oh, dang, it's almost there. 6, 2, 0. There we go. Let's try it. So we could scoot it over a little bit. No, it starts to get... We want it to be right centered, right? So what happens if we go 6, 2, 9, 6, 9, 6, 6, 2, 6, 3. Surprising. 6, 4. There we go. I guess it depends on where we want to be in the center. Like, as soon as we can be off screen, that's the center point, right? So we could also just have the pivot offset ratio start from center and tween that as well. So that, okay, so that's definitely not it. 6, 2, 5, 2. 6, 2. Whoops. 3. Oh, there we go. Let's go. Getting bigger. Bigger. So probably right here is where we want it centered. So 6, 2, 4. Too far the other way. Too far the other way. 0. 6, 2, 5. Too much that way. 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6. 6 it is. So starts from there. Looking good. Game over. 6, 7. Wouldn't that be funny if that was exactly it? Okay. So we need a reference to the game over label. And we'll just have the game end right at the beginning just so we can see it. So right as soon as we can, everything is ready and we instantly go to game, end game. We just trigger end game right at the beginning. Sounds good to me. Game over label. We need to point to it. So we'll go up here, assign game over label. And we're going to say scale equals a vector 2, 0 to start. Then we are going to create a tween. And we're going to tween property of game over label, comma, scale. And we're going to go to vector 2, 1 in 1 second. And we're going to ease. So we're going to do some fun easing thing, right? We want to ease this. Where's our little lookup? Here we go, cheat sheet. So elastic might be the way to go, or bounce. But elastic would be fun, or spring. Ease out spring. I'm not sure if it's ease in or out that we want. Set ease tween ease out. Set trans tween spring. Trans spring. Okay. So it should do some sort of bouncing thing. Let's just see. Now, does in-game not process because game always? So it did bounce up. Barely see it because it happens so quick. So let's do it in 3 seconds. It would also be very cool if we could somehow time the flying through the flying through the O with a reveal of the high scores. That'd be pretty sweet. Rodrigo, no, not for the jam. Not for the jam. I just grabbed some music off of some royalty-free stuff. Do you have something I could use? I would like to like once I'm starting to work on the actual game, start kind of figuring out like music. Maybe I'll hit you up on Twitch or on Discord and stuff, and talk to you, ask you about like rates and everything. If you want synthwave, that would work for the jam. That would work for the jam. That'd be awesome. These are just for practice anyways. Game over. You lose, loser. You're a loser. Your whole family. You come from a family of losers. Oh my god. Sounds good. Too real? It just goes, you are a loser. It would be fun to do like you placed and then do like one or first, second, third, fourth, and then, 10th, 11th, 12th, and then you 20th, 25th. So 5th, first, fourth, 5th, and then 20. And yeah, you could string them together. So having it actually say that's like the classic, like how you remember those kinds of games being, like that's like the TV or movie version of a game. Like, and the kid's like, oh man. Which is kind of what I'm going for. Not for the actual game, for the jam. The tone of everything is going, the tone is going to shift. I'm actually thinking about trying to do, for the actual game, I am thinking about how to do, like, if we all go to Steam, I should probably go though. Probably go another 30. So if we go to library, Wild Blue Skies, let's take a look at the game here really quick. Because I'm worried that it's going to seem like I'm copying these guys.
Leave it up to us, General. This invasion stops here. This invasion...
Because I was thinking about doing some kind of cell shading
stops here.
in the actual game.
Bet you can't follow me, Bowie.
All bombers are go.
Duck on your six, Bowie. I've got eyes on your back.
Togi's on my tail. Get him off. Thanks for the assist.
Whew. Looks like we made it through.
Can you
Looks
keep up?
like we made it.
There's no escaping this.
Let's look at Macross Plus really quick. You mean style-wise? Yeah. Looks like we made it. Scene. Let's Trying to find some good references for Macross, as it's sometimes said. So that would be interesting to do some sort of LOD, especially in 3D, that translates really well for cell shading. But I want this. We want this, guys. Macross, milady. But yeah, we want like multiple Battlestar Galactica style, like just like a ton of missiles. And then changing from, I'm really playing around in my head about, can I combine something where you're doing, because in Rails you usually end up stopping, but you're still going, and that's your boss fight. But I was like, okay, if I had 6 degrees of freedom or more all range mode like in Star Fox, but that was more like the mech stuff or a different flight mode. And then you go back to the Rails after that. Like you're bouncing in between those things depending on the stage and what it calls for. But yes, this moment, like missiles just. See, that boss doesn't read because there's literally, it's this giant thing. Look at that. No dust. Look at that. How big is this thing? I don't really know. I mean, we've got this here. But because we're doing cell shaded on the boss and then nothing else, like this isn't, right? So we're cell shading on only certain meshes. Yeah, that's cool.
I'm getting fired up. Keep your cool. We're not through yet.
Let's end this once and for all.
I don't know. I think it sucks away from something about. I don't know. I think there's a trick to it. Game over, loser. Don't be a loser, loser. And then after that, so we do the ease, and then after that, we're going to scale again all the way up to 20 something. 28. We're going to ease out. Transition. We're going to go faster. So something like quart. And then this is going to take. Scale is vector 2 to 28. In 3 seconds. And we'll do the same speed for the ease for the game over. So backwards, we want to ease in. Game over. You suck. And if we await tween finished, then we do paused. That means we can go back to our default processing and the game will pause after all the animations have played, right? Game over. Yeah. Okay, that's better actually. Final high score screen. So then we show the high score screen. So then we want to we don't have it initially. We also need to populate it. So we'll run UI show high score. All right, game over. You lose, loser. What a loser. This guy lost. He sucks. Big old loser. Look at this loser. The biggest loser. We found the weakest link. It's you. There's high score. High score. Your mom. Scored your mom. High scores. Bigger than your mom. What does that even mean? What? High score. Scored your mom. Tell her I said hi. Tell your mom I said what's up. Tell her to call me. Deborah, it's me. I miss you. Let me be a father to your child. I can be the dad he didn't have. Please, Deborah. I want to hear him call me Pops. Please, Deb. Deb. Deb, it's me. Deb, I keep thinking about you, Deb. I can't stop. I just can't stop thinking about you. I've been thinking about you. Bop, bop. You know, not like whatchamacallit. What are those guys? Those boys. Not the Bop boys. But anyways, I've been thinking about you, Deb. I can't stop. I just can't stop. I just can't get enough. I just can't get enough. You know what I'm talking about? Deb. Anyway. And then here it's going to go continue. 5, 4, 3. That old bullshit. Oh, high score. Let's hide that. Game over. We don't want to do that. But we do want to do the other thing. All right, here we go. Deb. Game over. High score. Bob. 98. Okay. All right. Final score screen. Bloop. High score list. We basically have that. This isn't quite complete. We need people to input their name and all that stuff. So let's go ahead and commit what we did here. Improved leaderboard layout. Added high score. Added the leaderboard after game over. All right. I got to really hustle on this, guys. We're not doing good on our speed and our time right now. High score list. So tomorrow, let's work on getting the main menu going, and where you input the player. Your I guess after, if you get onto the high score, what we want to do is have you input your handle, right? So we can do that. And I guess we need to do that in the old school way, where you just press up on the keypad, or because it's going to be controller only support. So up on the up arrow down and so on to choose the character and edit it, and then submit your high score. So use controller to input high score. And once we've done all this, then we're going to work on scoring, chains. And in order to do some of this, chains really needs to come after enemies. And then we need power-ups and a boss. And then there's just a dozen other things we're going to have to just hit up as we're doing this. But we're running out of time. So, got to really double down on our work. Friday is going to be a long one. Friday is going to be a long one. All right, everybody. I appreciate y'all hanging out. Much love to everybody out there. 13 of you watching. Dear God. Dear God. That's a lot. All right. Zed is painting. You could do Zed. LJ's going. See you, Rodrigo. We'll do LJ again. LJ's becoming a regular raid. Yo. It's LJ. Raid initiated. All right, guys. Much love to everybody out there. I will see you guys tomorrow night. In the meantime, call a loved one. Be safe. And all that stuff. Looks like LJ is working on some ZBrush stuff. Doing a new model.